Morning traders. So moving on to the Dow, again starting with a weekly chart, and again we'll see here how Dickinson is playing a major role in offering resistance to price. Okay, and I just want to add something else here. Okay, so we have a downward trend line, we have Dickinson at the trend line, and you can see, or you'll see now if we draw down, how we reversed off that level. Let's get to the daily. So there you go, you can see the green line is the weekly Dickinson, and you can see how profit taking just happened on that. Okay, you can see how this trend line brought the sellers and brought them down. So there is a pretty interesting fact that's happening here. So Dickinson is flat, as you can see that, okay, and the cloud is flat to pointing down. However, Dickinson here is starting to round, it's starting to point to the upside. Okay, and you can see a slight turn here in the cloud as well. So the way I'm seeing this at the moment is we are potentially going to start moving towards a crossover here, the cloud and a crossover for Dickinson and Dickinson. Okay, we do have a bit of a trend line here, and I'll leave that in because this could also play out as being a bear flag. Okay, so it could be a rising wedge, and a break of this trend line would bring it back to first here, or potentially the distance from here, fill in the distance from here to there, and that would take us all the way down to 22,600 area. So that's kind of the view on the daily. And there is another view here on the daily, which could potentially, if I look at the tops of these candles here, where this could be a flat top triangle, and flat top triangles are bullish. So a break to the upside will travel the distance from there to there, and that would travel to the upside, which would bring us in line with this area here. Okay, so difficult to call at the moment on the daily as to where we're going, but let's just look at the lower time frames and we'll see. Okay, so again, the 200 EMA on the 4 hour is offering resistance, okay, and it lines up perfectly with this downward trend line. So there's a couple of things at play here. So firstly, we do have sort of a double top between here and here, but we've also broken up to the upside. Okay, now if you remember, we are talking about this weekly range here. Okay, so we're talking about the weekly range, which we still haven't. I just want to make sure I drew that correctly. Yeah, correct. Okay. So we still haven't broken this weekly range to the top, although we've come to test the top again. The jury's still out. We still need a break above here for it to be confirmed bullish. What's interesting for me is that we are still creating these higher lows, okay, and we are creating a higher highs. If we just add a line there. It's starting to get messy now, but you can see this green line and this orange line, we've got a channel running up. Okay, so ideally, obviously, we're looking for another high. We're looking for a higher high for a move to the upside. And I'm still fairly bullish on the basis of the range. So you can see here how we came back to 61.8% Fibonacci of the range, which is here. We then tested 50, and so we're moving up. Let's just get rid of some of this. And let's just put a Fibonacci on here so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's the 61.8, there's the 50, there's the 38.2, and you can see profit taken there. Here's the 23.6, you see it offered resistance here. So probably a pullback into this area which would line up to the trend, and then another move to the upside. Okay, so just delete this, and then let's just get down to the hour. Okay, so as I explained yesterday, we had this triangle here, and we had a fake out. There's the fake out. So in other words, it tried to break to the downside, which failed. It then broke to the upside, which was my cue to get in. So I managed to gain a long here. There. So on the top of this bar here was my entry there, and stop loss sitting here below the cloud. Okay. Technically I could still be in, but I took profit basically on this trend line here. So that is the one play that played out quite nicely. What we're looking for now is to see what happens with Kijun-sen and Kijun-sen at the moment. So they are running flats, which is ranging, and this is very typical for the Asian market session, right? So Asia typically almost always ranges, whether it's currencies, whether it's indexes, it always ranges like this, and then you look for a break to the upside or to the downside. So I just want to get rid of the noise. So what we could ultimately say is, let's just do this. So that there is our current range. Now it breaks the downside, will bring us to test this break here somewhere. Break to the upside, will challenge this area again, and hopefully we break through, because if we do break through this level, it's going to be a pretty violent move to the upside, because we don't really have much. Once we break through this level here, we may have a bit of resistance here, then the next stop is the top of this cloud here, 25,000. So it'll be a nice quick move to the top, and then thereafter we start looking at these tops for targets. So at this stage I'm still pretty bullish. This head and shoulders here, so here's your left shoulder, here's your head, and here's your right shoulder. We're at the neckline now, and just so you're aware of this, let's just be conservative with our neckline and say that's the neckline there. So a 1,100 point move to the upside should we break, which brings this area into play, and it brings this pin bar over here into play. Anyway guys, that's it. Hope that helps. I'll catch you later.